Hello, BookStack. This is Josh Hanson. I just want to kind of give a brief overview as to what this channel is, what it's going to be like, and who it's for, and what my idea is for BookStack. So, just right off the bat, BookStack. What's BookStack? Obviously, not obviously, I guess, or else I wouldn't have to explain it. BookStack. At the end of every year, I have my BookStack, and my BookStack is the books that I've read for that particular year. So, I already have a BookStack going for this year. It's up here. So far, we have Ray Bradbury's Into the Art of Writing, which was amazing. Read The Martian, finally got around to reading it. Another movie came out a long time ago, don't judge me. And 7 Brief Lessons on Physics by Carlo Rovelli, just released in the States. It was available online to buy from London and pounds and all that jazz. So anyway, so that's my book stack so far for this year. I actually have one more that I just finished, so it's not on my stack yet. But at the end of every year, I have a stack of books that I read for that particular year. So that's the idea behind BookStack. I think it's kind of neat to, at the end of the year, kind of reflect on all the works that I've read for that particular year, all the different authors that I read, and then kind of set myself up and kind of get in the mind frame of what stories I'm going to delve into and what authors I'm going to get familiar with in the coming year. And so that's the name behind BookStack. And at the end of the year, I hope us together in the journey through the year have a book stack that we're able to kind of share with each other. And it's kind of cool to see other people's book stacks, to see what they've been reading, so that we can kind of have a dialogue and a conversation, which kind of leads me to the next part of the why behind this channel. I want people to have conversations. I've always enjoyed reading. I won't say I've always enjoyed reading, and I got a story that I want to tell you behind that here in just a second, but I love to read, and I love to share what I'm reading with other people. And so I'm hoping that with BookStack, we can kind of create a community of people who are reading, who are going on a journey together, and who share in a conversation. Because when you read, especially when you read the same things or similar authors or similar stories, what you begin to get is a common vocabulary. And that common vocabulary allows you to communicate with each other in ways that people who haven't necessarily read the same stories can't communicate. It's like going to a movie, watching the movie, then going to a coffee house afterwards and discussing your experience as you read and what you got out of it, what you saw, and what impacted you and what didn't impact you. And so it's the same thing when you read a book, except you kind of experience that on a deeper level. I want people to begin reading because I really believe that as you read, reading allows you to, I read this the other day, by a guy named C.S. Lewis. He says the scholar has lived in many times. And what that means is you can live several lifetimes. You can get several lifetimes worth of experience and information all sitting in a chair. In fact, this is my reading chair right back here. It's where I do most of my reading. You can see my little lamp right here, and I got my table with some books that I'm currently working through right now. I could sit in that chair and travel anywhere in the world and live lifetimes that I would never have the opportunity to live, or see things in my mind that I would never get the opportunity to see. And reading is an experience unlike any other, because it allows you as the reader to see in your mind and to establish the characters and what they sound like and what they smell like and what the scene looks like. And that allows you to be empathetic. It allows you to walk in someone else's shoes. And I think that that's a beautiful and a wonderful thing. And plus, it allows us to be educated. Part of that quote that C.S. Lewis I just gave, that the scholar lives many lifetimes, or has lived in many ages, it says that he cannot be deceived by the information of the time. In other words, if someone is trying to put out an idea in this time, a person who has read things that have happened in the past, maybe that have refuted that idea or that information, you're able to kind of see through it. You're able to have a wider experience, a deeper pool that you can pull from, to not be kind of duped and deceived by what somebody else may say that may be popular at that particular time. So anyway, so reading is something that I enjoy, and I want other people to enjoy. So how the channel is going to work, what I really want to do is I want to focus on the classics. I want to focus on things that everyone should read, or what is generally agreed that people should read. I mean, we're going to go through the Iliad and the Odyssey. We're going to go through some philosophers. We're going to go possibly through some science. We're also going to go through, The Prince, and, stories that have generally been agreed upon as having cultural value. And that's what I really want to make sure that people are partaking of, is the culture. If people have done so much work in the past to bring us to where we are as a society today, the easiest way to just destroy that and to tear it down is to forget. And how can you forget something that you haven't even read, or that you haven't even seen, or that you haven't heard? And that's what I really want us to do. I want us to get in touch and have conversations with authors from the past, and we're going to go through this journey together. I know there are a lot of people who want to start reading, and a lot of people who used to read and want to get back into it. And I have a lot of friends that have told me, I just don't know where to start. I don't know what to do. And so that's kind of what this channel is for, but it's also for those out there who have a passion for reading and have that same zeal that I have for the written word, and to help other people along in this journey, because this is our Bookstack. I want it to be a community. I want you to see people on the street, see people at a Barnes & Nobles or a Starbucks, and you know that that's a fellow Bookstacker, and you guys are having a conversation based on the current book that we're reading or the current ideas that we're exploring. And so that's behind it. A little background on me. I have not always been a big reader. I used to dislike reading. I used to dislike writing. It was not my cup of tea. And then in 10th grade, when I was in high school, 10th grade, I was put into advanced English. And that really just reaffirmed for me how much I disliked reading. I had to read a book called Jane Eyre. Jane Eyre, it was not the book that a 10th grade boy that did not like reading should be reading. Well, I guess, maybe should be reading is not the right word, but it wants to read. It was as dry to me as the paper it was written on, and it just reaffirmed for me my distaste for reading. The next year, somehow, I don't know how this happened, I was put into AP English, and I went up on the first day of class and told the teacher, this is not where I belong. I don't know how I got here. I don't know who put me in AP English, but this is not for me. Can you please get me out? And she told me, she said, look, the other classes are full. It's going to be very difficult for you to get out of this class. She goes, but I'll make a deal with you. If you give me 9 weeks, and I feel that you don't belong in this class, and you feel that you don't belong in this class, I'll get you out. But if you do, then you'll stay, and we'll see what happens from there. And I said, fine, deal. I'll give you 9 weeks. And man, 9 weeks later, I was so hooked and in love with reading on the written word and how she illuminated what was happening in these stories for me. It's affected me for the rest of my life. And so that was several years ago, and to this day, I still have a love for reading. So I want to share that passion with other people. I know there are other people out there that are very passionate about reading and passionate about the written word, and I want to share that and develop a community around people who are zealous about books and zealous about learning and growing your mind and exploring different worlds and different times, and just sharing that story with each other. And I want it to be fun. I want to have a good time in our discussions, a good time in our reading and this activity. And I kind of want to go through some pitfalls and some things that people why they get out of reading or why they claim they don't like to read, but that'll be coming in different videos. And another thing I want to do is just some fun stuff. I mean, I like to look at libraries and bookstores. I love all that, so I'm going to share maybe some top bookstores, top libraries, just some ideas around books, best-selling authors, just to see what's out there and how we can have fun with this channel. If you're interested in taking this journey with us, subscribe, hit that like button, please comment. If you have any ideas, any suggestions, I'm always open. Again, I want this to be a communication, and I want it to be a group effort, and I want it to be a community. So if you have any questions or anything, hit it in those comments below. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that like button, and I'll catch you in the next video where we're going to talk about the first book that we're going to cover. I'm pretty excited about it. You'll see that in the next video.